what's great about this tournament, it's not happened before, is it's just thinking outside the box. So the World Cup final that we should have been in Australia, was that MCG, 80,000 people there, and that's because they had Katy Perry headlining. Like, you need to think outside the box and do things like this. Yes, it costs money, but it brings in a hell of a lot of money, and it brings in a lot more interest from so many different angles that will act as a catalyst, and these people will be like, oh, you remember that? Yeah, we should go to another one. That was a great day out, that wasn't it? We'll take the kids this time, whatever. You know, and the fact that we've got Jade Bug, people like that, Ellie, what's her name? You know, that would be great if I could remember her name. So, like, these people, these are appealing to the younger generation, and they're going to want to pop in because they're here, and then they'll be here and they'll see what it's about, and they're like, whoa, like, watching this live is 10 times different than watching it on TV. I can guarantee you that. So you have to be here to experience it, and your parents, you have to bring your kids, because it is a mind-blowing experience for young children. Definitely, like, you've got to make that first step and actually get them here. So these new little initiatives, these little changes are going to do that, hopefully. It is very much like a bowler's graveyard at the minute, so I can't say I'm licking my lips ready to bowl on here, that's for sure. If anything, I'm thinking what's the best case scenario or worst case scenario? Is 8 and over going to be all right? So no, it's a big challenge, and I like that. I like to be tested. No one likes going for runs, but this is an even shorter format. It's going to happen. You've just got to accept it, and do the best you can. If you're bowling to your field and you get hit for good shots, you can live with that. Yeah, so we've got to be smart. We've got to think about it probably a little bit more. I think there'll be more variations than ever before as well, and hopefully not running over time, because I do not want one less fielder in the outfield in the last 5. That would be shocking. So yeah, we better keep on our toes in lots of different ways, because I used to pay to play, and I used to only get expenses for a good 8 years of my international career. So if I look at it in that way, and then you look at what the stats are now, what is it? The most women in cricket are being paid than ever before. Like, if I look at it from that standpoint, then we're doing pretty well. Like, we're doing very well. And the wages aren't anything to turn your nose up at. They're good. Yes, they could definitely be better. And there's gaps in it, but that happens all the time in every different field, and we're definitely going to get better. This isn't going to go the other way. This is only going to go up. I do feel for those girls, but it is a good, chunk of change for 1 month's work that they would never have seen before this year, ever. You could only dream about it, to be honest. I think we've been fighting for equality for hundreds of years. These things don't happen overnight, but as long as the conversation keeps going, that's all you can ask for. Like, it's when you keep quiet and you don't do anything, you don't say anything, that things don't move forward, because people are quite happy to keep going as they are unless you say something. So I do, I think it's great that girls are speaking out and they're brave enough to do that. But equally, sometimes the positive message gets lost in that, which is what has happened in this article, is that it's been spun a little bit and we're forgetting about the positive part of it, which I'm only going to bang on about, because I'm here to play the 100 and get on with this and do the best I can for my team, regardless of all the other things that are flying around. But the important thing is that we are being paid, and yes, we are away off the men, but that's because the men bring in more crowds, they bring in more money, they bring in more, press around the world, and they bring in, you can't get people like Andre Russell, Rashid Khan over here to play unless you make it worth their while. You know what I mean? It's a long way to go. The quarantine's not great, but yeah, once we start playing these games and we get this year in the bag, and we show that we can we can play these games alongside the men, then they'll invest in us even more. But we need to keep proving this time and time and time again. But not to forget that positive message, which is that we're all being paid for once, more than ever before. Said a lot learning on the job. It is, like you say, it's not much different at all. But it's about everything that happens, all being squeezed. And honestly, anybody that's played T20 on a big stage against awesome opponents, when all that pressure's on, it's not a great place to be in sometimes. And so if that gets squeezed, it can be terrifying. So we're gonna have to learn fast, because obviously you only get one go at each team. There's no having a second chance unless you manage to make to the finals. So yeah.